it's an E-Theory camera Downing Street. Can you patch me through to P&P, please?
Why do we need to do that? Why do we need to do that? I'm going on soon. I've got it there. Oh, for there,
like
you haven't.
Oh,
sorry.
Because I know when
You're
really handy for me.
100%. Yeah, sorry.
Usually
But you're going to change this.
but I want to be back the day I've had. So. And they can patch me through that. So I can hear and stuff. Yeah. I had it before and I've lost it. Yeah, I would do it. Yeah, so it's the same thing for you. Yeah, please, thank you.
Doors this way.
You just step at the tiny bit.
Okay, thanks. Oh, I've lost comments. No comments.
No, they've just stopped. They should be back now. I haven't changed anything. Great. Joe, just take a really briefly. Joe.
I'm not staring at you, I promise. I'm just staring into space. It's like you do.
Certainly is, Lewis, and it's happened much quicker than anyone had expected. We thought we'd see President Zelensky tomorrow ahead of that leaders summit that Keir Starmer is hosting. Instead, he is expected here in the next hour or two. I think Downing Street officials arriving behind me. the streets are absolutely full of international media, which gives a sense of the worldwide attention on this moment, and also the role that Keir Starmer, the UK Prime Minister, is seemingly going to have to play here, partly because of the hostility that Donald Trump feels towards the EU. So Keir, we're told, wants to act as a bridge between the US and the EU. Well, maybe you have to act as a bridge between Volodymyr Zelensky and Donald Trump as well. It'll also be fascinating to hear the language that Keir Starmer will use after this meeting. Perhaps, Lewis, it will echo that of Mark Rutte in your interview on BBC News today. A mild rebuke almost of President Zelensky, but also saying that Donald Trump and the US should be credited. Clearly, Mark Rutte is giving advice to one of the two leaders involved in that spat in the Oval Office yesterday, and it's not Donald Trump.
And I've been 172 for ages, but I've had a band back for a while. Yeah, so I've got full mine in a stenosis, which is where you get a collapse. And so they measured me the other way. I'm sure it's 2 centimetres.
It's hard to say now. Downing Street are pretty quiet. It sounds pretty frenetic in that building behind you. So much of this week had been very carefully planned out, from the defence announcement to the trip to the Oval Office for Keir Starmer to tomorrow's summit of European leaders. What happened yesterday has changed all of that. So we're not getting a great sense of what should be expected tomorrow yet. However, from that Paris meeting a couple of Mondays ago that Emmanuel Macron hosted, this could be another moment where European leaders clarify more what they could provide to any Ukrainian peace deal, whether they would, as Keir Starmer to the UK is, be prepared to put troops on the ground somewhere in Ukraine. Of course, all of that relies, at this stage, as Keir Starmer has repeatedly said, on a US backstop, the US providing some form of security guarantee, be that air support, be that logistics or intelligence. That does seem particularly crucial. Keir Starmer didn't succeed in persuading Donald Trump to back that when he was in the Oval Office on Thursday. Volodymyr Zelensky definitely didn't in the Oval Office on Friday, so a big question mark over what the role of the US could be in any possible peace deal.
Because you really notice at the end of the day, particularly, especially if you're standing up, even if you haven't got the weight back on the camera and stuff like that, it's just the standing up. But there's also you're on the side to do something like that if you carry them on your shoulders.
It's been pretty fulsome and very public, and it stands, Lewis, in contrast to Keir Starmer's strategy, which is to, I suppose, have disagreements in private. He has spoken yesterday, we know, to both Presidents Trump and Zelensky. He didn't tweet about it, like other European leaders. He instead got a press officer to release a statement talking about his unwavering support for Ukraine and saying he's doing all he can to find a path forward. We've seen similar choreography in recent weeks. Keir Starmer wanting, I suppose, to be a bit more low profile in his diplomacy, partly because we know that one person will be watching closely in the Oval Office, and that's Donald Trump.
Australia and New Zealand are totally two different countries, aren't
Yeah, we'll do. Definitely.
我觉得你站我前面，我往后退，我往后退。Defense loan, Ukraine.
It does me as well.
So, Nord is brilliant. Pretend you're in Australia.
你电视在这吗？被邀请。
So many different accents. And of course we only primarily listen to the ones that used to come from theory. Yeah, yeah. And but when you actually get to the outback, as it were, America, you get to real people understand what they're saying. It's not only if they get the slang, yeah, but their accents are so big, bizarre, and stuff like that.
I don't think this fits in with the downstream fabric.
You just spoke to that. Yeah, it's hanging down.
Is it really good? I'm not sure it has it. Yeah, it does it.
Hectic around.
Okay, I'll text you something there now. So I'll wait for it.
Geography is not one of America's strong points, is it?
Handshake it.
Yes.
That's why when this came up, I said to Andy straight away.
I can, hello.
Yeah.
Who's the hit? Zelensky's not hit. No, absolutely not. Motorcade. I'm just doing this radio full as live. Cool, I just need to do one thing first.
Intake her across, Joe. Intake her across. There.
Intake of recording the line now.
Brilliant. Because we're doing radio full.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I've spoken to them. I've spoken to the studio. I've spoken to radio full.
No, I know you've spoken to the studio. I'm saying intake of recording you.
Okay, I know what that means. What does that
Fine.
mean?
You're being recorded.
Oh, it's just in case. Just in case I say something rude, you mean?
It's all good. We're fine.
I just am trying to deal with something involving the king that I just need to get sorted. I know. It's basically we did report the king duty. I just need to get.
I'll talk to you in a bit, Jeff. Cheers. Bye.
He said it's only the wide one. Go to my bench.
It's okay, just to give it 2 minutes until 1:30, which I might get this confirmation. It'll be worthwhile if I do. Thank you, I really appreciate it. I know you guys are so busy. Yeah, good, thank you. Oh, lovely to hear your voice. Yeah. basically there is I can do that if you want. Go. This sound level's good enough. Do this like a bit higher. Thank you. Brilliant. Hi Carol, I can. I've got one question, which is, you're presumably going to say on air this was before you came on air, because, or do you want me to just be very vague and not talk about the arrival? No, he thinks he's going to arrive about 5:15. The point is that I can talk about, I know that Starmer is preparing at the cabinet table, waiting for the meeting. There's some stuff about about Zelensky meeting the King tomorrow. We can talk about. I can do lots of analysis, but if you want it to be completely mindless and don't want to reference when we spoke, I can just do that without too much description. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
I think it's both, really, but the start of that meeting may just be both President Zelensky and Keir Starmer trying to share their views on what happened in the Oval Office yesterday. What is very clear is that there is a degree of freneticism within Number 10. This meeting today was not part of the plan. We expected Keir Starmer to have met Volodymyr Zelensky tomorrow on Sunday, ahead or around that European Leaders Summit. There has been a big change of plans, but also a change in the role, really, that Sir Keir Starmer is playing in all of this. Partly because of Donald Trump's hostility to the EU, Keir Starmer's aides had already characterised the role he could play in all of this would be as a bridge between Washington DC and Brussels and European capitals. He may also now need to act as a bridge between President Zelensky and Donald Trump, and it will be fascinating to see what sort of language Keir Starmer uses. We've seen in the last 24 hours some European leaders say punchy things on social media, referencing that Oval Office meeting, or maybe sort of obliquely referring to it. What Sir Keir Starmer did was very different. He hasn't tweeted anything at all. He's not been out in front of the cameras. Instead, he has had calls with both President Trump and President Zelensky yesterday, and released a statement from a spokeswoman saying he has unwavering support for Ukraine, and he's doing all he can to find a path forward. And it'll be interesting to see whether he perhaps echoes what Mark Rutte, the Secretary General, has said to the BBC in the last couple of hours, which seemed to some as a mild rebuke of President Zelensky, saying that we need to respect what President Trump has done so far for Ukraine. Relations need to be restored with Donald Trump, and it's very clear there is only one president who was in the Oval Office yesterday who is now getting advice from Mark Rutte, and it's not Donald Trump. I think there will be definite concern and anxiety. There was certainly anxiety even before Sir Keir Starmer left for Washington DC, and that was articulated by people who work with him, who I've spoken to. I think, though, what is what's really interesting is to see the contrast in the approach and sort of emotions of people within Downing Street after their White House meeting and after Zelensky's White House meeting. Certainly Keir Starmer did seem to achieve some things when he met with Donald Trump. One thing he of course did not achieve, which I think he would have liked to, is US commitment to security guarantees, a backstop for UK and European powers on the ground in Ukraine if there were to be a peace process. Perhaps that was also something that was an augur of what was to happen on the next day. Certainly the way that officials like Mark Rutte and others are talking doesn't suggest they think this relationship is completely broken down, but a repair process and project will clearly need to be initiated, and perhaps Keir Starmer will need to play quite a major part in that. It's hard to say. They've not been hugely communicative, I think partly because so much of what's happened over the last 24 hours was not expected. The strategy is changing and shifting into Keir Starmer's role in it is moving too. But if we look back to the Paris summit of European leaders, plus the NATO Secretary General 2 Mondays ago, which is probably the best sort of comparison in terms of a summit, that was an event where different European leaders, I suppose, gave their sense, although some did it privately, of what they could provide in a possible Ukrainian peace process, whether it would be, as Keir Starmer said for the UK, boots on the ground and commitment of troops, or whether it would be something else or not at all. So maybe there will be more steps towards European nations making commitments ahead of a possible Ukrainian peace process, but also perhaps European nations, especially after what happened yesterday, deciding to commit more money to defence in their own nations. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Rosie. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Bye.
Hey Joe. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you off.
No, not at all.
What all I meant was that the news intake desk were recording your voice just in case PM were wondering where to take it up from.
Oh, I see.
Literally just to let them know that it was being recorded into the building.
Sorry.
on news packages. No, sorry, you probably didn't make sense. What's next? So next is the bulletin.
Now?
No, but not until 5:25.
They're sleeping.
Do they want us to do an extra? It's not on my list. So I've got the BBC 6 on at 17:25. Then we're going to do the 6 o'clock news channel after that, and then World Service Radio. Got anything in between?
They just said how to
But yeah.
He always said to wear
Yeah.
a jacket at the time.
Sorry, Joe, are they talking to you? No. Sorry, Joe, you're not hearing anyone in your ear, are you? They're not talking to you at the moment,
They were,
are
yeah,
they?
yeah.
But they've gone now, haven't they? They've
Yeah,
gone
sorry.
away. Yeah, absolutely. So we're free now until 5:25.
People will come back to me, I think. So.
Is that what they said? Are they going to come back to you? I'm just wondering about powering down the battery.
No,
That's, are you sure? You're all right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got a couple of backup ideas.
Yeah? You sure? Sorry, Joe, did they say they're going to come back to you?
I think so.
Yeah.
I work for the capitalist, so I've got some
And then at the TV, all right? Yeah.
I might have to go back. I've got this
Yeah.
nearly charged enough that I can go back to my old battery.
Can you? Do you think we'll manage then to do this, then the 5:25, then 6 o'clock, then we'll
I've
see
been
this
here for
radio?
about how long? How long have I been here?
An hour and a half? Yeah.
I'll think about it.
Yeah. So, me, 5:15, if they come on schedule, Nathan's the pool, so he's going to go inside and I'll go with him, just as a bag carrier. So, Joe, just FYI, at 5:15, if everything's running to time, Nathan Page is the pool camera, and he's going to go inside, so I'll go with him as an extra pair of hands.
Yeah, that's
so
fine.
It'll just be you and me, but yeah.
Brilliant.
So you've just got the bulletin.
We're going
there
to
at
be
that
needed
point.
from 5 o'clock all the way till 5:30 probably.
Yeah, exactly. And then you know about the 1800 news channel hits, don't you? After the network bulletin. So after your 17:25 network bulletin live, you've got a news channel hit at 1800, and then off the back of it, they'd like you to do World Service Radio. And then that's currently our last commitment before the 10.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Did 125 this?
So it's all on your email. I can send you another note if you need.
Yeah. No, I was just
Cool, that's brilliant. So I'm just trying to sort out this King stuff.
Yeah. Do you need anything else? Is there anything I can do? Are you happy? So Joe, you're just going to grab another battery. They didn't say they were going to come back to you right now,
Is
did
it
they?
working, guys?
He's lying for a break.
What did he say? Did you listen
I
to
did
it?
hear that. I heard that. Is this TV or radio?
You're going to come with me or can we change the camera battery?
I wasn't expecting anything else.
Oh, fine. Oh, fine, great.
I was going to say, I didn't think they wanted any more. Yeah, it'd be a bit safer, and then we're not going to be on the last legs of the battery. Yeah, definitely.
I have loads, but you know.
Yeah, no, there's nothing more for us now till the national bulletin at 17:25. Totally, yeah.
Straight paths. Wandered up, and then walked straight past the red carpet, wandered up to the next door, and then turned around and looked for the
I was crap.
This is Sky. Sky's TV. My child probably will switch.
Are you going to dash pretty much as soon as you get it? Actually,
Yeah, absolutely.
by the sound of it, she's going to come and grab us.
If you're happy, I'll go and stand
Absolutely,
with Nathan.
go.
So yeah, so, and you're happy to dash with us as well, aren't you? Good. That's good.
And we'll be
Powered
out
down
whenever
for now.
we. Yeah. I'm going to try and get it from the other angle as well. But I think it looks imminent because they've moved everyone back.
And then World Service Radio to the back.
How are you? See you. Pardon? And no one else is free to come in, so. Alright, they're interesting. Worth wasting when it's like that.
Hasn't been unknown.
Hello.
I'm switched off.
Pardon?
I've powered down.
Oh, you powered down, okay.
Yeah. I can power up
No,
any time.
this was on tell them something.
Yeah. I know. I'll definitely power back up. God. Just pop the mic down a bit lower for when you do it.
Oh, I put it down. Oh, even lower than that. Yeah.
I had retired the soap from the heaviest coat I owned, thinking you close it. I took it out of retirement. I thought we were getting warmer. It was getting a bit warmer.
This street is just...
I know.
There's never any luck. It's a lovely sunny day today.
I know.
You could get a
job
turn
earlier,
today.
and I was so hot that I took my jumper, my coat, everything off. I just got so warm.
Really depressing.
I'm going to be here before, but I will sit down obviously when your man arrives. Good. I'll sit when Zelensky arrives.
I'll keep an eye on the time. I've got
Nick Robertson.
Oh my God, how are you? Goodness gracious. So nice to see you as well. Well, I thought it was really good.
I know. You have to help us. You have to help us. I want to come for a chat.
Come for a chat, I've got to figure out where.
If you're with me,
I was I volunteered to come in. In fact, I was literally at the location where that dogs stood out. Yeah. All right, chat after. Yeah, good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
right? Oh, am I plugged in? We're really not good at top of the hour unless we come.
No.
There's going to be another full camera. I would apparently just have a full camera, so I even like to lose. Which is fine. Because otherwise it's going to be a place to deal with maybe I'll start sliding there.
Yeah. 6 minutes, you think? What, like top of the hour?
I wish I was working for two evenings. I'll be like and maybe nothing too
Is that on Twitter?
Which is quite cool. There's a heavy one for you about system license. So it's like, I mean, I've done this 40 years, that's fine. What's got them all? Not too bad.
Ciao, oggi ciao da. Vuole, sama se vuole camere. Ali, da, čujemo da će možda da dođe jedno 10 minuta iza nas. Ali ne znam, to kažu ovo. Baš.
Okay. Right.
I will keep talking, yeah, I will keep talking, but I might have to like stop and run around. Yeah. And then I'll come back then. Yeah. Hiya, how are you? I got you. Maybe that's what that's
Joe, just a little step to the left. Perfect.
The car's arriving now. It possibly comes. I don't know, but there's two cars arriving at the back. Now, is that? Maybe they did the entourage, but did they say he was coming that way?
They say it.
Have they said that?
That's what I think. Symbolism from the British state, when Keir Starmer being about but also in the last half hour hearing guy that tomorrow part of this whirlwind round of the process. In effect, showing possible backing from the Ukrainian leader at this moment of peril, at this moment of the US, not so for so long, just always ally of that country at the face of
all of a sudden now no longer being somebody standing steadfast as Ukraine aggression policies, but instead really projecting out something playing the role of Russia. A huge change, a huge blow for Ukraine. Keir Starmer today trying to drive back the balance sheet, and he stands in Downing Street waiting for the motorcade in the way to stand here bringing President into town, into Westminster, into the heart of our political system, in order to hold this meeting with Keir Starmer. We'll be looking at so much. In the first instance, for the body language, is this a man going in?
Little left, Joe. Joe, a little left. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
And then
frenetic activity here in Downing Street. The world media alongside me waiting for the arrival of the motorcade. I'm expecting maybe in the next 10, 15, 20 minutes or so, the Ukrainian president will miss because I've noticed, Jonathan, where the divisions were laid absolutely bare between UK allies like France who have sided with Ukraine and the new American administration suddenly treating this conflict in a way that you have not seen for the last few years. Big policy differences on whether or not there should be a straightforward immediate ceasefire and whether or not the US should come up with some kind of
Well, we're putting a handshake on the step of Downing Street in the next 15 to 20 minutes. A lot of international media attention here, which is very rare for a Saturday. We've had some more photographers arrive from the Ukrainian delegation, of course, has been accompanying President Zelensky on his travels to Washington DC and then here. Very important to say, this was not part of the plan. So we expected President Zelensky to be meeting Keir Starmer tomorrow ahead of that planned summit of European leaders on the topic of Ukraine. He's appearing here early. I'm told that Sir Keir Starmer has been in the cabinet room on the ground floor of Downing Street preparing for this meeting. A very interesting role that Keir Starmer will now play, partly because of Donald Trump's hostility to the European Union. Keir Starmer now finds himself potentially as somebody, one of very few people who could really help broker a deal and try and help repair relations between the US and Ukraine. Certainly in recent weeks, Keir Starmer's allies have talked about him being a bridge between the EU and the US. Maybe he'll now also be a bridge between Kyiv and Washington DC. A significant meeting, of course, so it's not clear what can be achieved today. Certainly the two, I suppose, major questions are: can relations between Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky be repaired, and is a deal possible between the US and European nations like the UK, still providing a backstop in the event of a Ukrainian peace deal? Those are the two, I suppose, key issues, Lewis, at the top of the agenda for today's hurriedly arranged bilateral meeting.
President after his encounter with Donald Trump in the White House, and certainly he will be looking to Keir Starmer about how he might repair the relations with Donald Trump. This is something he has indicated he wants to do, and US support is something that his country desperately needs to continue hosting.
don't know what you thought, Lewis. To me, that seemed like a mild rebuke to President Zelensky. I suppose Mark Rutte realises it's very important to keep the US on side and to keep the US within his alliance, within NATO. He said in that interview with BBC News, we need to respect what President Trump has done so far for Ukraine. We need to restore relations with Trump. We need to credit Trump, he said twice. But of course, fascinating, the NATO Secretary General is providing advice to one president who was in the Oval Office yesterday, but not to the other. And perhaps could Sir Keir Starmer echo that sort of language? It has been fascinating that over the last 24 hours, the UK Prime Minister has used different tactics and seems to be following a different strategy from some of his European counterparts. He certainly hasn't been tweeting. Instead, he's been on the phone, calling both President Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky last night, and also releasing, as Downing Street did, a statement last night saying he has unwavering support for Ukraine and he is doing all he can to find a path forward. I suppose the reason for this different choreography, less confrontational choreography, is that firstly he wants to keep Donald Trump on side, especially after that visit to the White House this week, which sources in Downing Street seem very pleased with, seem to think have gone well. And also ultimately it's about what can be achieved in the long term here. The only way Keir Starmer believes that a peace process is possible in Ukraine is with the United States playing a role. Donald Trump is going to be in the White House for the next almost 4 years, and therefore he needs to be part of that, and he needs to be respected as part of that, even though after unfortunately events of last night that does look a very, very different relationship, Lewis, to try and rebuild.
On the back of his own very successful visit to the White House on Thursday, which was very cordial and very warm words there, even though he did not secure the security guarantees from the US for Ukraine. This is one of his goals there.
I'll dip when he comes.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Does that make it better or worse?
So you were in Washington yesterday.
Or maybe like a proper coffee machine, like a barista.
Yeah, of course, whenever you like.
Like for the tea bag. When I was 16, my mate wrote it, and my mate got job. His dad was Chris Smith, and so Dan was, he does come. Chris Smith used to take me and Dan kids, and he was a polycycle Yeah. And he used to get something like Chris. Yeah. Yeah, I So Dan and I, when we were 15, used to go into his garden. I had loads of his friends. The best one was he won the picture at the Moscow Olympics. Alan Wells started 100 metres and shot on the side of the guy, and Alan Wells comes out first. Yeah. Yes. What's the fact about this?
Get the settlement that you want. The certain degree by designing what you want to get allow you to well. Everybody is playing the right way to do this. Parts of the old international already and don't come away on global relations quite unlike anything before. That results in another issue you might have to stop the Bloomberg and getting back into negotiations.
Obviously, when I started getting when it went to most people yeah, we had 5 roll tank, and then you went to try it. Where so when you started loading the film, if you didn't use a bag, yeah, you changed it, and then suddenly you look and you can see everything well in the loading.
Even when Keir Donald Trump is not yet willing to discuss even in public what national security
Nice white film.
The point, interestingly, where President Zelensky and Donald Trump seem to sort of the big the when they fell out was where President Zelensky had said that you can't trust President Putin. We repeatedly did deals with him over prisoners, over territory, and breaks his word. Donald Trump's reply was simply, he hasn't broken his word to me. And I think that's where the biggest policy and diplomatic kind of things that are that's when the biggest lack of resolution of funding. What anybody does about that isn't clear. But it would also be wrong to suggest that Europe is completely united. The UK and France seem to be completely locked down. But take Italy now. Prime Minister Maloney before the Lancaster House and the other Europeans. The Italian government is really very clear that it's not at all keen to take part in any kind of peacekeeping. Quite suspicious of this. They say only if there's something involved in
But then you have to put that movement. So many things.
So the sort of diplomatic gamble from Keir Starmer, the difficulty and challenges that he faces aren't confined to perhaps trying to move President Zelensky and President Trump slightly closer together after yesterday's coming out. But also to try and get those who turn up in wider cars all on the same day. So full of so many different directions. So this wasn't the weekend anyway. Really exciting to have. So we just have to see when that most pictures up, possibly in the next few minutes, and there's no sign of activity immediately right now.
Freddie. Oh, that's right. Tonight is not a night to sound bites.
Brilliant exhibition. How much?
Yeah, we think he's going to arrive at 20 past.
Sam.
You know I've got to do the bulletin at 25 past.
Sam.
Right.
That could look great. Joe, that could look great.
Pardon?
That could look great. You wouldn't be able to hear anything.
And I'm happy to stay, yeah, if you want, yeah, of course I don't mind. But I do speak the bulletin as well, yeah.
Yes, they've got one. But yeah, I'll try and shout something.
Joe, just look at me briefly.
Absolutely, Lewis. We're expecting President Zelensky to arrive on the street in about 5 minutes' time. We're just looking to one source within Downing Street who says that tomorrow really needs to be about action and about moving forward. This source has said the UK has spent billions supporting Ukraine, and the Prime Minister really wants tomorrow's meeting to be about next steps. I think there is also a concern within Number 10 that they do not want this meeting of EU leaders to look like it's a sort of EU versus UK dynamic. They want to make it very clear that the UK is not picking a side. It's about rallying behind Ukraine. And also we've seen very different approach from Keir Starmer, and the language he's used in a statement from one of his team last night, not tweeting to some other European leaders. This source has said when last night happened, the first thing Keir Starmer did was get on the phone. Some got on Twitter. He got his sleeves rolled up. Now, of course, that is how those in the building behind me want to characterise the Prime Minister's role in all of this. Of course, there is huge pressure on him to try and succeed and achieve something this weekend. He's almost accidentally become a central figure in trying to broker some form of improvement in the relations between Ukraine and the US. We already knew he wanted to try and act as a bridge between the US and EU now. He might have to try and soften relations between Donald Trump and between Volodymyr Zelensky too. One extra point that is really interesting we've had in the last hour is confirmation that the King Charles, will meet Volodymyr Zelensky tomorrow. We're not quite sure where. We understand that was on the advice of the government. Important and interesting that the King is meeting Zelensky, because we also know who is fascinated by the royal family. Donald Trump, of course, who accepted that state visit to London during that meeting with Keir Starmer on Thursday. So what is Downing Street trying to achieve by brokering that meeting? It will be fascinating to see the pictures, if there are pictures, of that encounter between the King and the Ukrainian president. And of course, one person who may be watching is the man Lewis sitting in the Oval Office. Absolutely. And what will they commit to? That seems to be a key question everyone is asking at the moment. That Paris meeting hosted by President Macron 2 Mondays ago was a moment where some nations decided to explain whether they would or not be prepared to put troops on the ground in Ukraine in the event of a peace deal. From everything I'm hearing from Downing Street in the last 10 minutes or so, they want there to be more commitments, more action tomorrow, but of course different countries are in very different positions with regards to their finances and with regards to their military. The UK, of course, has decided to ramp up its defence spending. That was announced on Wednesday of this week, reaching 2.5% of GDP by 2027. But what can different nations provide to Ukrainians? Still no arrival of President Zelensky here, but this street is full of international media, and right next to me a phalanx of press photographers awaiting that arrival. We've also seen in the last few minutes the Ukrainian press delegation arrive here too. They, of course, were some of the journalists in the Oval Office yesterday witnessing that very ill-tempered encounter between President Zelensky, Vice President, and President Trump as well. They, of course, have been travelling on the plane with President Zelensky and watching the leader of their country on this pretty dramatic international diplomatic mission. What will the faces of President Zelensky and Keir Starmer look like when they shake hands on a step of Downing Street in the next few minutes? It will be fascinating to see, and what will be the mood of those leaders behind the scenes too. Hi, yeah, I can hear you. I am clear. He's not here, so definitely have that live shot ready. I'm very... Of course, we're going to the original plan. Yeah, I'm hearing you. So we'll go with that original plan then. So it's 20 seconds top into Landau, and then a question from Ben afterwards about tomorrow, and then the alternative is I'm very happy to fill, because I've done this on Sky a lot. So if you want me to talk because he's arriving or something, or dip as he arrives or whatever, just tell me and I can deal with that. But if you wanted, I know it's not ideal, but if you want to, but if for example he arrives during the Landau package, you know, I can talk. Do you know what I mean? If you want to come out and cut to it, that's also possible. Oh, I see. Got it. Okay. Plan A then. Fantastic. Yeah, something like that, yeah, exactly. Oh, here he's coming now. Oh no, just saw the outriders. Doors opening. 2 minutes. Okay, this is it. Can a deal be salvaged, President Zelensky? What is your message to Donald Trump? What's your message to Donald Trump, President Zelensky? Sir Keir, can you help broker a deal? Exactly, Ben. He's just walked in the door. Quite a long handshake between Sir Keir Starmer and Vladimir Zelensky. Prime Minister Starmer walking all the way down, making it clear, I suppose, the strong links between the two countries, and the announcing the delegation from Ukraine, who of course were in the White House yesterday, moved through. This was a hastily arranged meeting. It was not part of the plan, and it follows a very tense 24 hours for the Ukrainian president, as my colleague James Landau now reports.
This conflict, whatever the views of the US president and the vice president, and the two men then slowly walk to the steps of the street where again they paused, they shook hands, they chatted, they looked past the journalists' questions and held their gaze into the distance before Keir Starmer walked and uttered Zelensky and he began the meeting that we expect will last somewhere in the region of an hour. But the deliberate embrace from Keir Starmer or President Zelensky sends a possible visual signal about where Britain is right now after all the turbulence that we saw yesterday. Now we have a country picking a side. Britain stands with Ukraine. But if there was ever a moment to see how to spend the credit that you built up with another country, if there was ever a moment to take those bits that you've accumulated and pack them in, I think Keir Starmer and his team would argue that this is that moment. But all of the hard work put into that visit, now there is a moment when goodwill needs to be used. Because there is a very old and a huge job to be done, but quite a lot of it strikes me is actually about rebuilding personal relationships and smoothing personal difficulties. There are some policy gaps, but policy gaps that on Thursday looked like they could be bridged. Now on Friday, when the discussion broke down in the White House between President Zelensky and President Trump, many of the policy issues remain unchanged. For sure, the minerals deal was signed yesterday, but the gaps on Friday are the same as the gaps on Thursday, which is a problem, but it's also an opportunity. It's an opportunity because today, what Keir Starmer wants to do Ukraine is not a pushover, but it's push Ukraine in the countries of Britain and the allies that are lining up with the Ukrainian president to see and stand with tomorrow. So lots of not just symbolism, but this is real hard work diplomacy. And he is hoping that he can make rational cases in order to with President Trump.
Absolutely. Question one is, can that relationship be rebuilt then? And two, what would a deal look like, a security deal for a Ukrainian peace process? I've spoken to someone in number 10 in the last 20 minutes or so. They say Keir Starmer is very keen on action tomorrow, next steps. That presumably means commitments from European nations to what they could contribute. Also, another point from this source within number 10, they're very concerned, I think. They don't want this to look like the EU and Europe is ganging up on the US. It's not a choice, they argue, about the US or the EU. This is about supporting Ukraine. So a very tense, a high-stakes moment for Sir Keir Starmer, shoved into the centre of this big diplomatic row. Also, of course, one thing taking place tomorrow, President Zelensky will be meeting the King, King Charles. Important because we know who is a big fan of the British royal family, and that then, of course, is President Trump.
At a moment when the US is making itself out only to be some kind of intermediary between Ukraine and Russia, we've kept aside.
Don't worry. That's fine, that's fine. I'm just going to use the camera now.
There is ground to talk, respect to talk, but there is a way to reach. All of those are the messages, probably in public, or diplomatically in private, are being sent from London to Washington right now.
We did. Wasn't the choreography interesting, Lewis? Keir Starmer could have just stepped out and waited, as Prime Ministers sometimes do for the Ukrainian President at the door of number 10. So just shook hands there, but instead he walked along the street close to where the Range Rover that the Ukrainian President arrived in was parked. I think that was a show of support. The two gentlemen embraced, didn't they? Two leaders embracing. I think the message that Keir Starmer is trying to get across is that the UK has very strong links with Ukraine. Nothing that's happened in the last few weeks will change that. However, the UK Prime Minister is playing a very difficult position in this tense diplomatic row, and it is unclear whether he will be able to improve relations between the US President and the Ukrainian President, and whether any deal could be struck for a backstop, for security guarantees. Certainly one Downing Street source I've spoken to in the last half hour has said that Sir Keir Starmer wants tomorrow really to be about action, not about words or about choreography or about a few pictures of European leaders around the table. I think that means he wants commitment. The argument this person was making is that the UK has already spent billions, Europe has spent billions supporting Ukraine, but we need to move things forward. And tomorrow, this person argued, is, according to Sir Keir Starmer, time for action. The other key point this person wanted to make, which gives you a sense of concern within number 10, is they don't want the pictures we'll see tomorrow of European leaders, Volodymyr Zelensky, Keir Starmer, round a table at a summit to look like Europe is ganging up on the US. That is not a message they want Donald Trump to receive in the White House. Instead, this person was saying to me, they want to make it clear this is not about choosing between one or the other. This is about supporting Ukraine. It's of course a difficult message to get across when tensions are so high, but one of the significant things, Lewis, that we've mentioned before that's happening tomorrow, that I think is fascinating on so many levels, is that meeting we're expecting between King Charles and President Zelensky, which we understand is at the request of the UK government. It sends a very strong message. We don't necessarily have pictures of that meeting, but you often do. The messages that meeting sends to the Oval Office, I think, will be significant. Only 3 or 4 days after Donald Trump opened that letter from King Charles in the Oval Office inviting him for an unprecedented second state visit to the UK. So diplomacy is underway here at Downing Street. The street is still absolutely packed full of journalists from across the world, including the Ukrainian delegation. And we have no understanding how long this meeting will last. It could be, half an hour, 2 hours. We'll be waiting. We'll keep you updated as it concludes.
Moments like this, leaders are the chief diplomats of their country. It's at moments like this that Keir Starmer should step up and show what he's made of as now one of the leading diplomats in the world.
I suppose the big question is what can be done tomorrow to change this situation? If we were to have the sort of sequencing, which certainly from the UK point of view would have been boosting defence on Wednesday, meeting President Trump on the Oval Office on Thursday, President Zelensky signing the minerals deal, which of course didn't happen, Friday, Saturday the day off, we'll all rest, there'll be nothing happening, that obviously changed, and then Sunday being the day when European leaders work out what they can provide. It has changed, but I suppose you're still in a position where European leaders need to realise what they can, they need to decide rather than realise, they need to decide what they can step up and do and provide and contribute. That is something that Keir Starmer is clearly requesting, and of course that may be a conversation that was happening anyway, but what happened yesterday in the Oval Office changes that dynamic and I suppose makes it far more important and significant. Certainly Number 10 would argue that there are other nations beyond the UK and France who are willing to contribute significant amounts or numbers of troops.
Do you want to come back to me on this?
Well, let me just say that you're very, very welcome here in Downing Street. As you heard from the cheers on the street outside, you have full backing across the United Kingdom. And we stand with you, with Ukraine, for as long as it may take. And I hope you've heard some of that cheering in the street. That is the people of the United Kingdom coming out to demonstrate how much they support you, how much they support Ukraine, and our absolute determination to stand with you, unwavering determination, and to achieve what we both want to achieve, which is a lasting peace for Ukraine based on sovereignty and security for Ukraine, so important for Ukraine, so important for Europe, and so important for the United Kingdom. So I'm much looking forward to our discussions here this afternoon. Thank you very much for making the time to come.
With pleasure. Thank you very much, Keir, Mr. Prime Minister, happy to be here. And really, I saw a lot of people, and I want to thank you, people of the United Kingdom, such big support from the very beginning of this war. Thank you, your team. And I'm very happy that His Majesty the King accepted my meeting tomorrow, and I'm thankful that you organized such a great summit for tomorrow. And we are very happy in Ukraine that we have such strategic partners. We signed with you historic documents.
100-year agreement.
Yeah, we have only with you such documents with the United Kingdom, so we're happy, and we count on your support, and really, we're really happy that we have such partners and such friends.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lydia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
it is only events which have led him to be in a situation where he may also need to provide a bridge between the White House and the administration in Kyiv. I suppose he's in a better position than many other leaders, and the way he's been carrying himself and communicating the last 24 hours is, as you touched on, fascinating. He hasn't been tweeting like European leaders. He just had some calls and asked his press office to summarise them in statements. So he's not being too direct, too visible, but he was in that statement signalling his support for Ukraine. I suppose the reason for that is he wants to keep Donald Trump on side because their meeting seemed to go reasonably well on Thursday, and he thinks there is an advantage to that strong relationship that maybe could be used to help Ukraine and help European nations in the coming months. Thanks, really appreciate it.
Cheers for that, Joe. So yeah, we decided to do that as a pre-record for the 6 hour because obviously the channel kept you for so long. Had they kept you for if they keep you for that long in the next hour, you wouldn't have made it onto the World Service Radio. So that's there was no information to tell you. They were waiting for you to come there. So so we've got one more here, which is your 1800-hour channel. So you're back on the news channel again.
One more time.
Yes. Yeah, and then it's clear for us. We can go back to NBA.
I think we'll do that, and then if it's okay, I'll do a piece to camera from here.
Yeah, we'll pretend live, but that's
from here.
Yeah, it's not happening now. It's in the studio now.
Okay. I think it'd be good to do a piece to camera.
Are you okay? Strepsil. Really good strepsils.
Oh, I love one.
Yeah.
Very kind, thank you.
Oh my god! How many bumpers? I'm not 6 red. Yeah, I've got your back.
Pleasure, thank you.
Oh, there's 3 in there. Hang on.
Just hold it up
sure?
once more, Joe.
Are you sure? That's very
Joe,
kind.
hold it up once more. Right.
That's very kind, thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
That's like proper producer dedication.
We aim to please, absolutely. It's all about your comfort. Making me Is there any sort of colour in your shots that might for Joe? No, like your indoor shots, is there anything you would say that Joe wouldn't have seen? Yeah, Joe, you might have time to have a little look at making the shots from inside. Just for a little bit more colour for
good
you.
idea.
He's going to tell him to bring it down. Very short.
200 metres away from where I'm standing here at Lancaster House to try collectively to see if they can find a
anyway.
with President Zelensky in the room as it happens. Ever since the moment that President Trump returned to the White House, the tectonic plates of global diplomacy have been shifting, but right now, this is the heart conversation.
Joe, do you want to watch it? I'll get out of the way and you can actually have a look.
Yeah. How fun. Bit of history you just filmed.
So I'm walking up. Chat, walk in. Just a bit of a chat, really. I didn't go for singles because it was just too risky. Not wide. So he says a quick hello, and then Zelensky speaks, and that was about it, really.
I think normally their words are quite important. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and also, to be honest, the sound wasn't great because I couldn't put the mic on, no boom. It was literally off this that far away. So yeah, you could use it for colour, certainly. I'd just maybe not comment.
Okay.
I've got.
Yeah, I'll make that too. Yeah, let's just take it. Oh, that's
Joe, Nathan will take us back to base after your booster camera.
What was the question, sorry?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah.
There's not long to go. Get you warmed up.
Yeah, I'm happy to go.
No worries.
Joe, just a little bit to the left.
Do you know how much you want? Do you want it to be sort of long and rambling or short and punchy? I can do either.
Joe, just like. Great, thank you.
Still you, isn't it? Hello, I can hear you. Okay.
I'll do it on a minute. Yeah, just I'm all set up, so why not?
Hello. It certainly was current on 2 points. One, he didn't just wait at the step of Downing Street, as some prime ministers do. Instead, he walked down the street towards the Ukrainian president. The second point is that he embraced him, and the two leaders took their time walking back up the street. That is a very clear and intentional show of support from the UK towards Ukraine, even though it's notable that one name wasn't mentioned in those comments within number 10 Downing Street, with those two leaders were sitting side by side. Donald Trump was not mentioned at all, even though the president's actions, or what happened in the Oval Office yesterday, is so central to the crisis, as some would put it, that Volodymyr Zelensky is now facing. Sort of existed. I mean, this is part of that challenge. Keir Starmer, I understand, is very keen, though, to ensure that this summit tomorrow doesn't look like the EU is ganging up on the US. This is not about choosing sides, sources in the building behind me tell me. This is about supporting Ukraine. What will happen tomorrow? It's not clear quite yet, but I understand the UK Prime Minister wants action, wants progress. He doesn't want this to be some leaders talking, taking some photos and discussing what happened in the past. This is about the future. This is about progress, and presumably that means other European nations stepping up to play their part in a Ukrainian peace process. Keir Starmer's view is that the US needs to play their part in a backstop, effectively providing maybe air cover or logistics or intelligence support with European nations putting boots on the ground. No progress this week, clearly, on that. But what has been very carefully choreographed day by day, all changed last night and into today. That arrival was not planned today. We'd expected to see President Zelensky tomorrow car in, and that gives you a sense of the pretty unpredictable dynamics that Keir Starmer and President Zelensky are grappling with. Two key questions: can the relationship between President Zelensky and Trump be repaired, and is a peace deal possible with the US playing a part?
He's even prepared to give a security guarantee, maybe for future to do that, although he isn't yet spelling that out in public. So there are a lot of things, I think,
as you say, it couldn't have been more different than that disastrous meeting from just a day ago. I would say, Tom, as we stood here and as Zelensky's motorcade pulled up to Downing Street, here, cheering loudly for President Zelensky.
Well, just to be very clear on the sort of steps to this meeting happening, my understanding is the request came from President Zelensky to meet His Majesty the Queen, and UK government's advice was they were happy for it to go ahead. So this wasn't, as some reported, a request on behalf of the UK government. This was a request from President Zelensky. So it happened in that order. But it is significant, I suppose, because the pictures, if there are pictures, will demonstrate support from the King towards the Ukrainian president. We know one person who is absolutely fascinated by the royal family is President Trump. he enjoyed opening that letter handed to him by Sir Keir Starmer on Thursday in the Oval Office, with the invitation to a second state visit in the UK, an unprecedented second state visit. So I'm sure he will be watching and will draw his own conclusions. But as I say, the UK government and Keir Starmer's team very clear that what's happening tomorrow, mainly with the European summit, but I suppose you could shove the King meeting in there as well, is not about ganging up on the US, it's about supporting Ukraine. And certainly the choreography we saw here and the warmth of that embrace, I suppose, certainly backs up the warmth of that nation, even though the next steps look complex and potentially perilous too.
Between Trump and Zelensky, but it is taking on a much more heightened significance now, because European leaders are facing a real prospect of the United States perhaps pulling its military support for Ukraine, and there are huge doubts over whether the Europeans can step up to that challenge and fill the void in case the US falls out. And we've heard some
people in this building were very pleased that the personal relationship had been, quote, locked in, because they think that's important for the next 4 years, where both Donald Trump and Keir Starmer will, it's likely, be in their jobs as world leaders. Yes, there was progress. The UK were very pleased about the start of a UK trade deal, and of course President Trump also committed to NATO Article 5, but there was nothing really from President Trump clear on playing a role in the Ukrainian peace process, and that does mean that the next steps are really, really difficult. It also means that Keir Starmer is in perhaps a unique position. He'd already talked about, or his team had already talked about, the possibility of him acting as a bridge between the EU and the US. What happened yesterday in the Oval Office has completely changed all of the dynamics here. He may need to be a bridge between Zelensky and Trump, and he may be one of the very few people who, at least for now, may have the president's ear, may be able to improve relations, and may, it's possible, help form some form of peace deal. But I mean, the last few days have been so unpredictable. President Trump is incredibly unpredictable. So, Karen, I'm not predicting what could happen in the next week or so. Turning the light off, is that okay? Can you turn the light off, please? Thank you so much, just because
Yeah.
If it does come out, the microphone out of the first then you can get a good shot of the
a bit further out. Let me unplug first.
Actually, it's probably about as far as you want it. No, that's fine.
You want everyone to be able to sit, it's hard.
Oh, yeah. Maybe a bit further back, so if you still grab it. I'm pouring it for everyone.
Actually, if I put on this part. Yeah, no. You keep the other one. It's just because it's in the middle of the backdrop. So when he's ready. Joe, what do we call your piece of camera? Pike Zelensky? PTC?
You mind giving me a sort of 5 minutes to write it?
Of course, yeah, you take time. That'll go on the server as Pike Zelensky PTC.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. So are you alright to give Joe an invite to the base? Is that so Joe, Nathan's parked about 10 minutes away and he'll give you a lift back to MBA.
Oh, amazing. Of course, perfect.
Let me just run it through a couple of times.
no promises.
Yeah, if there's only a handful of spots, but it is about the best spot for me.
I've just got outside. I know.
Right. Here and not too much of it. I feel good to capitalize this. Yeah, I've got to do all my batches. Let me get back in a minute.
Thank you so much for your hard work, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. No, not at all. But thank you for being sort of insane present throughout the.
Yeah, I agree.
Breathing, no, really. So why don't I give you all this gift back for the? Do you have a lapel mic for the piece of camera?
Actually, no, if I want to come out, I'm going to talk in case you see something that's going to blow everything.
This is your wire. I must give this wire to you. Oh, sorry.
No, I'll do it myself.
That is your wire. Thank you so much. Say it was Newly your name?
Huh?
Neve.
Neve. Yeah.
I knew it was something like that.
Yeah.
An N with an Irish
It's
twang.
so funny. I've been in Millbank since Christmas, and I don't think
Well,
I
never
left last week.
Oh, right,
I
you never met.
managed to do anything with you.
No, that's a shame.
It's really funny.
What if they sort of...
Now, if you just undo my mic there, you just give me my mic, and I'll swap over the mic. You just give me my mic.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yeah. You are? Who's packaging?
That cheer
You're gonna
from
freeze
Whitehall
that.
was amazing.
You're gonna freeze that.
Could you hear it? It was so
Yeah,
good,
I got
wasn't
it.
it?
That's good.
The cheer from Whitehall was amazing, wasn't it? It was absolutely packed. And they were just going crazy for him.
But the way Keir Starmer reacted to him was just amazing.
Yeah.
Joe, if you'd like to come this way, so I can put on your mic.
Thank you. Is it plugged in?
Trump
Well, for my
was,
tie, actually, maybe.
Okay.
Trump's gone for him like that. He's just become the fluffy little guy that everyone supports.
David versus Goliath.
David versus
Amazing.
Goliath.
It could backfire what they tried to do so badly. Because everybody is like...
It doesn't-
Sorry.
Sorry.
Do one more time.
She's really sorry for Zelensky.
Because they haven't released it yet.
I've not quite written it, by the way, so I'm nearly there.
Sorry, take your time.
you want to just say a few things?
1, 2, 1, 2, turn on 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That relationship.
Don't. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have to put on the lights just so
This is why my English is not clear. This is why my English is second language. The relationship that is crucial to defense of this country, which is crucial. I don't know. Tomorrow, I don't think the people out there will know us, so we'll just go with whatever I say. British President can help repair that relationship. It's crucial to the yeah?
You can put it on the table of your book. No one goes all over my eyes.
Right, this thing finished. What time on the piano?
Okay, let's
He will say goodbye. He will.
Victoria, we'll just stand by and say
Zelensky arrived at Downing Street, a president under pressure, bruised after his encounter with Donald Trump. And he hopes that the British Prime Minister can help him repair that relationship, one that is crucial to the defence of this country. And now, once I don't stumble on my words, let's try that one. President Zelensky arrived at Downing Street. Sorry, hold on. Let's hope and pray they don't ask for an asthma because we'll be here all night. Volodymyr Zelensky. Volodymyr Zelensky arrived at Downing Street as a president under pressure, bruised by his encounter with Donald Trump. And what he hopes is that the British Prime Minister can help him repair that relationship, one that is crucial to the defence of his country. Like, that one's fine. Do you mind
Yeah,
looking
go back
again?
there. Right. Do you want it on the left or the right?
Whatever looks fabulous.
We've all done it all the same way, so come a little to the right. Just for
Like
a
convenient.
little. Oh yeah, then a little.
What? Is that okay for you?
Volodymyr Zelensky arrived at Downing Street as a
Just a piece of
president
camera.
under pressure,
That's a good
bruised by his
happy
encounter
with that?
with Donald Trump. What he hopes now is that the British Prime Minister
Number
can
10 wants
help
the Prime
him
Minister
repair
support
that
Ukraine to be
relationship,
very clear.
one that
I
is
think they
crucial
achieved
to the
that.
defence.
They are
of
also
his country.
concerned.
We're okay with that. So this is what's happening with us.
Just look at me.
Yeah.
Joe, just look at me.
It's a hard.
What are you saying, sorry? What are you saying?
Okay, we can start recording. if
Okay,
you
I'm
like.
not quite ready, sorry, I'm still at it. Apologies. I'm talking about the PM support for Ukraine to be clear.
You know what part is harder than a marble?
Number 10 want the PM support for Ukraine to be clear. I think they achieved that. The sources inside this building have told me they also don't. It's also told me. Let me just. Number 10 want Keir Starmer support to be clear. I think they've achieved that. The sources inside this building also told me they don't want tomorrow's European summit to look like the EU is going up on.
No, I'm not even connected to that.
It's not about choosing sides, they argue. Okay. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 5. 10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. You okay? 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Keep going.
1 2 3 4 5. 10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. 1 2 3 4 5. Number 10 want you. Number 10 want the Prime Minister's support for Ukraine to be clear. I think they've achieved that. The sources inside this building also told me they can. Sorry. I'm talking about the Prime Minister. They are concerned about it. They don't want it to look like Europe is ganging up on the US. No one needs to pick any sides.
Okay, recording.
Okay. Number 10 want. Number 10 wanted. Number 10 want to make it clear that Keir Starmer supports Ukraine. I think they've certainly achieved it. Let's get over the right. Sorry, I was stopped until I was. No, that's fine. Here comes the cat. Anyone like the cat? Okay, try that one more time. You recording?
And recording.
Number 10 want to make it clear that Keir Starmer supports Ukraine. I think they have achieved that on the street today, but they are also concerned. Sources inside this building tell me that tomorrow's summit might be interpreted in the US as Europe ganging up on the White House. That is not what is happening, they argue. This isn't about picking sides. This is, they say, about standing up for Ukraine. Is that okay?
Lovely. Yeah.
Can I watch it?
Yeah.
That sound like people who are desperate to get off. I love it. No, and so am I. Can I watch? Thanks, guys. Actually, you know what would be useful as well before we go? Getting a couple of 10, just to cut into the piece of camera, you notice it sort of softens the edit.
There you go. Joe.
Hear it? Sorry. Where I start at the beginning? Let me tell you again. Sorry. You're getting tired. You don't listen to sex. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Neve. It's not fair, such a long shift.
And Joe, if you just step a little further, yeah, a little bit more space in between.
I don't mind being loose as well if you like. I don't mind.
Yeah, okay.
Number 10 want the Prime Minister's support for Ukraine to be clear. I think they've achieved that today. There's also a concern with number 10. I've spoken to some sources inside the building that tomorrow's summit could be interpreted in the White House as Europe ganging up on the US. That is not what is happening, they say. This is not about picking sides. This is, they say.
Right, let's record.
Okay, in 3. Number 10 want to make it very clear. Number 10 want to make it clear that Keir Starmer supports Ukraine. I think they've achieved that here today. But there is also a concern within Number 10, and I've spoken to sources in the building, that tomorrow's summit could be interpreted in the White House as Europe ganging up on the US. That is not what is happening, sources tell me. It's not about picking sides, they say. This is about supporting Ukraine. Sorry. Just trying to do a piece to camera, the call's loud, so I'm really sorry. Just this piece to camera, the call's loud. I'm so sorry. Sorry.
Recording.
In 3. If Number 10 wanted to make it clear that... In 3. If Number 10 wanted to make it clear how much Keir Starmer supports President Zelensky, I think they achieved that today. There is also a concern in the building behind me that tomorrow's summit could be interpreted in the White House as Europe ganging up on the US. That is not what is happening, sources tell me. It's not about picking sides, they say. It's about supporting Ukraine. I'll do it one more time, just so we have adoption.
Okay, I'm just going to go really to the booster shot for the last one.
Cool.
So you can choose. So really...
Is this...
Okay, when you're ready.
In 3. If Number 10 wanted to make it abundantly clear Keir Starmer backs Ukraine, I think they have achieved that tonight. But there is concern in the building behind me from conversations I've had with sources in Number 10. They don't want tomorrow's European... Again.
Recording. Actually, just 2 minutes. Recording.
If Number 10 wanted to make it clear that Keir Starmer backs... Sorry. If Number 10 wanted to make it clear that the UK backs Ukraine, I think they have achieved that here today. There is also concern within the building from conversations I've had that tomorrow's European Leaders Summit might be interpreted in the White House as the EU ganging up on the US. That is not what is happening, they say. This is not about picking sides, it's about standing up for Ukraine. One of those two will do, won't it?
Yeah, those two will do. Right,
fabulous, guys, let's go. Yeah. Cool. Just want like a close-up of, just to cut into the piece to camera.
Ready? Yeah, okay, no worries.
Thank you. And a boring question: when after he's gone, can you predict at all how long before the readout?
it's putting the skinnies up like the press think it is. Right, there we go.
Thank you so much. Give you a mic back. Sorry to keep you an extra bit.
Just to make sure I've got all my stuff up there. That's all I'm worried about. Everything down there.
That's been dropped. Oh, that's it. Don't lose that.
Yeah, don't lose them.
Hello, guys.
Be well, Joe.
Fine. Trying after a week. It's quite difficult this job. Oh, how are you?
Oh, okay.
What are we playing this weekend?
Against the Brits.
Guest of.
Okay, mate. I got 3 invitations, but I'm like, I literally do my previous series. I have to pay my way. Yeah. So the original like, well, the thing is it's a box, like 1,205. But then Jess found seats. So I think I'm going to miss half.
Great.
I mean, they'll need somebody because she'll be in there, so she'll be figuring it out. So I do that.
We thought you might come over for a nice chat. Just come out, he'll make wave and he'll jump back on.
What do you, how is everything?
Best laid back on us.
Oh, okay. He's going to get Chancellor as well.
You got a nice big check. Have you got a nice big check?
Right. You ready to head?
1 second.
No. I don't need to. I can also just head myself. That's not a problem. You know what? I might just head on my bike if that's all right, or not get an Uber bike. So I've got to, yeah. No. You've got. Also, I'm not even rushing you. You've got to eat your kit right. I'll just get on an Uber bike. Try and get some exercise. Thank you so much, though. Really appreciate it. See you later. Later, Alan.
Minister Hannes, you need some of that. Minister's great. That's why I remember the video. I got 640 and that's only the price. Yeah, exactly. We source it from a very, very special region. So you'll drive Rolls Royce and Lamborghini. Funny.
Who's your most famous rock musician?
Ray Columbus.
Yeah, never heard of him.
Exactly. We've had a few actually.
Split it.
I'm wondering, Neil Finch, the head coach, will face Lindsay Buckingham. Original lineup, not the original, but the secondary original lineup. Sam, Sam's not.
He's seen his gloves. Can we move off? Probably thought, bloody hell, somebody knows my name.
What was the question?
And you go on, you go
60
on the full cam by
2 minutes.
not onto our, obviously,
Do it,
okay. Okay, so the cardinal.
Lovely.
It's totally business. It's not good.
Sorry?
It's considered. They could easily like it all.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's all right. We're talking about football now. That's fine. Sorry? Yeah, it's bullshit. Go, 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 go. Perfect. Right. How much longer on this ball?
That's something we know.
Yeah.
I still use that. I've got a couple of them. Yeah. And all the latest ones, they were great. But I had those in a couple of years.
Well, I've got two.
Yeah, and I've got the extra back.
Staying the side or the other side?
Yeah, I've got those, but because I use the pack one most of the time.
Staying the side?
This side. But I don't know how much imminent it is.
They're not far off.
No.
The newer ones are more complicated.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
Just going through the bloody menus.
Toby, sorry.
Just below the shot you can see Larry the cat leaving, making way for Zelensky and Starmer emerging minutes around me and Downing Street. Cars regulate.
He wants to go to Ukraine.
I got it. yeah. I got it.
Did you get the cat leaving? Brilliant.
up, and that was very much the nature of the remarks that were at the start of where Keir Starmer for Ukraine. A top-to-bottom effort today by the UK to make clear that the UK supports Ukraine. Tomorrow, President Zelensky will be meeting King Charles. That is another way that Keir Starmer, who would be involved in that decision, would be able to show back interesting enough, just 3 days after President Trump received for a second straight banquet from King Charles. One of the key moments like this, probably more than we have got. There we have President Zelensky and Keir Starmer exiting number 10.
Are you reassured that the meeting is a success? Prime Minister, will you cancel the state visit with President Trump? Did you make any progress?
those loans will be paid back, and rightly so, with the profits of the immobilised sovereign Russian assets. Before I say anything else, Minister, can we hand over to you to say a few words?
Thank you very much. We are grateful for support the United Kingdom provide for Ukraine during this time. And this agreement is very necessary, and because it can cover our military expenses, indirectly targeted specific weapons. And we are so grateful, and I believe that's the first step towards fully seizure of all Russian assets. I believe it will be possible in the nearest future.
Well, thank you very much. I think we both agree that today is a significant moment as we sign this loan agreement, and I want to thank you and your ministry for your work in getting to this point. As you say, unique amongst the G7, the money available from our loan agreement will enable you to use those funds in the way that you best see fit, including for military procurement, so that you can better defend your country. And of course, this is in addition to the £3 billion a year ongoing support from the United Kingdom to Ukraine. I also just wanted to say, Minister, that we had to take this legislation through Parliament, and one thing that struck me when we did that was the cross-party support for it, and indeed do whatever it takes to stand by our allies. Of course, this money is about helping to secure the territorial integrity of Ukraine and protecting your security. But if I might say, it's bigger than that. It's about the security and prosperity of all of Europe. And we're pleased to play our part alongside you in the huge efforts and undertakings that you're making. But perhaps now is the moment to sign this loan agreement, Minister.
Let's start.
Well, thank you very much. And that's our side of it. And in the next few days, the disbursements of money, we should be able to make those to Ukraine. I know that they are needed as quickly as possible. Thank you so much, Minister, for being able to join us today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Minister Marchenko, thank you very much for joining us today. We're going to sign the UK-Ukrainian Extraordinary Revenue Acceleration Loan Agreement worth £2.26 billion as part of our unwavering and ongoing support for the Ukrainian people as part of the G7 loan agreement. And as you know, that those loans will be paid back, and rightly so, with the profits of the immobilised sovereign Russian assets. Before I say anything else, Minister, can we hand over to you to say a few words?
Thank you very much. We are grateful for support the United Kingdom provide for Ukraine during this time. And this agreement is very necessary, and because it can cover our military expenses, indirectly targeted specific weapons. And we are so grateful, and I believe that's the first step towards fully seizure of all Russian assets. I believe it will be possible in the nearest future.
Well, thank you very much. I think we both agree that today is a significant moment as we sign this loan agreement, and I want to thank you and your ministry for your work in getting to this point. As you say, unique amongst the G7, the money available from our loan agreement will enable you to use those funds in the way that you best see fit, including for military procurement, so that you can better defend your country. And of course, this is in addition to the £3 billion a year ongoing support from the United Kingdom to Ukraine. I also just wanted to say, Minister, that we had to take this legislation through Parliament, and one thing that struck me when we did that was the cross-party support for it, and indeed do whatever it takes to stand by our allies. Of course, this money is about helping to secure the territorial integrity of Ukraine and protecting your security, but if I might say, it's bigger than that. It's about the security and prosperity of all of Europe, and we're pleased to play our part alongside you in the huge efforts and undertakings that you're making. But perhaps now is the moment to sign this loan agreement, Minister.
Let's start.
Well, thank you very much. And that's our side of it. And in the next few days, the disbursements of money, we should be able to make those to Ukraine. I know that they are needed as quickly as possible. Thank you so much, Minister, for being able to join us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.